What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. It's naughty number 9. Who is going to be within the top 10? The single digits, okay? We talked about Searson last year in 2020, the first German to make it into the top 10 in CSGO. It was Searson. He did that in 2020. That was awesome. And it's just something special about it being number 9. I mean, people were talking about Yokinder earlier, and they're like, he should have been in top 10. But when I was making the list, I wasn't really thinking about who made it, to top 10, I wasn't thinking about the round numbers, really, and there was such fine margins. But if I had thought about it, like, I would have been sick if he was top 10, I would have squeezed a way in for him, but I didn't think about it. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's just a very good placing anywhere around there. It's super respectable. But yeah, I could see how it affects it. I mean, on HLTV, you get the little medal, and it says 9. That's sick. Anything below 9, whatever. So we're in a very respectable placing, that's for sure, especially on Laos. Top 20 of 2021. And as always, this is a companion list. I made it because of HLTV, because of all their wonderful, fantastic content that happens at the end of the year. But I'm not making it to predict what HLTV are going to do. It's just my list. Just my list. So who you got for number 9? The match was 16-4, if that helps. It was a 16-4 match. And the player that we're going to watch played very well. That's a clue. He's pretty famous. He's not new. People relate him to a celebrity very often. He's from a country that has a seemingly unlimited amount of top players. Okay. These are too easy, aren't they? Okay. Well, who do we have, folks? It's Device. Top 9. Respectable. Could be worse, okay? Device... this is a weird one, right? Because this is the player who has been top 5 years over, 6 years over. Let's see. 2020, number 3. 2019, number 3. 2018, number 2. 2017, number 5. 2016, number 3. 2015, number 3. And these are, this is before Astralis days, right? And that's for me the story with Device. He was always a star player, but of course with Astralis and how good the team was and everything, like, that was peak. It was a really good, hella consistent player who was able to make top 3 with, carrying rosters, to finding a team that everyone was doing well and it had a strongest IGL of all time and everything. And, just stayed as consistent as he was, except just one way more. But this year, and even at the top 20 placing in 14, probably the most consistent player of all time, right? That can change in the future now that Simple's got, number 2 on 2 years, number 1 on 2 years potentially. And then, yeah, so there is the actually not a non-zero chance that could change. But for Device, he's holding the mantle right now. The best Danish player to ever play the game. 2x major MVP, all that, but not this year. I mean, I don't know where HLT... I didn't even think about where HLT is going to place him. I was looking through things and I was like... the same reason I was looking at certain teams like Complexity with Blame F, for example. Spoilers, not on my list. When I was looking at the year, I was like, dude, they just did nothing. Like, there's no team. They never really had a team. Of course, he's going to get good stats. I know he's a good player, but there's just nothing. There's nothing, No real career this year yet. At the end, actually, had a good fall final with Astralis, but just, yeah, it was hard. That was hard. And with Device this year, he plays on NIP. They play, they're solidly trying to improve throughout the year. They actually have some notable results. They even have the perception of the outside chance of them winning the major. I don't know if you've heard anybody say that, but I even have from a couple of people. Maui Snakes, that there's, I think Alex from the IGL of Fnatic said that coming in, like, into playoffs, that the only team that might be able to beat Navi is NIP. That's what he said, or there was the outside chance, right? It was like, could they do it? Because they were peaking at the right time, as Maui said. And so this is just to illustrate that they were taken seriously as a real team. And we had a situation here at the IEM Fall Europe where Device peaked, and it was a super tough year, of course, for him and for him. It was a super tough year for him. Obviously, NIP are collateral damage, but he had the event in August, Pro League or whatever it was, where he said it was like his worst event of all time, something like that. And then he recovered. IEM Fall comes around. He has his best event of the year. And the reason we're watching, well, what game we're watching is because it's the first game from this event where he just kind of, you're like, wow, he's actually on form right now. But then he gets MVP of the whole thing. They win it. So we got to see Device survive this very downward trajectory, a depressing summer. There's still some issues, you know, and it's been a hard year overall, but everybody's had problems. Device is just more famous. We don't want to get into specifics about who had what problems. You can't help but feel bad, of course, but it's, yeah, I mean, this is just a list of players who are the top 20, and I'm sure there are players who are not talking about how bad their years were, and they probably had really, really tough ones, right? So I don't want to be unfair in that regard, but yeah, Device number 9 for me still managed to put together a solid year overall. I mean, despite what it felt like was bad news, the team, like NIP not being as good as Astralis, like them not actually getting up to the point where they could be a favorite at any event that they attended, you know, regularly, not being able to win things, but still some good results for sure. I, you know, gotta say, I mean, still pulled his weight. I think the best stat for Device coming out of this year was that like their team win rate improved like 20% with him coming onto the team, even when his stats weren't there when he first joined. So that was evidence for him that he's improving rosters that he comes to. And by the eye test, you look at NIP, they're so much better of a team than they were last year, right? I think Hampus has gotten better as an IGL. I'm sure he's learned a lot having Device on his team. I'm sure it's made his life a lot easier having an Opera like Device on his team. And he himself has just made tons of strides. But but yeah, Device has clearly improved NIP. They're taken seriously. They're a strong roster. I think they still have many flaws and everything like that, but I want to give credits to just kind of driving forward and improving and still looking to make changes as we move forward into 2022. They've got Esatag, and I think Threat is taking a break or something like that. I can't even remember. I'm not up to date with the news there. Totally forgot. But yeah, still more to show. It's year one. Maybe it wasn't an amazing place for him, but mentally, but there's still plenty of time to grow, and he seems to be committed to the roster. Hey, if he wants to go to Astralis, I'm all for it. You know, it was really fun to talk about NIP. I'm cheering for NIP, you know, and everything, but I like the Glaive, I think Astralis actually need an Opera right now, man. They need an Opera. Glaive's a rifler, okay? That would be funny. Wouldn't it be funny? It'd be messy. It'd be messy. But I want it. Let's get into the game. Device top 9. Big nips. Device, you know, he's got Rez and Hampus on the areola. Device is the tip. And it wasn't an amazing year from Device. You know, relatively speaking, there have been better years in Device's life, for sure, by far. We know that. You know, the story of this demo is that Device leaves Astralis. And the question of what if he waited a few more minutes comes to mind, because Astralis, they're still a real org. They signed the 2025. Wow. They signed the 2025. They get the contracts for Glaive as well as Zipix. The team's playing well at oh my god, what is this round? What the hell? All right, the story of this map is this is the result, the very first map of the EU RMR. The NIP won the entire RMR, as well as had Device as the MVP of the event, right? And that's coming off of Pro League, which he tweeted out and said was his worst event of all time, something like that. Maybe outside of ratings, just how it felt. This is coming off of, you know, some personal life troubles, okay? I can let you guys... There's stuff about it. It's even worse. You know, it's even worse than people know. And that's obviously not for anyone to share besides him or whatever. But he's kind of already said that, you know, it's just been a hard time. And it showed. It's reflected in the stats directly over, you know, probably the most consistent player of all time. currently. So very strange from the perspective of, number one, you get Device going to a Swedish roster. No one thought that this would ever happen. Number two, just him leaving Astralis in general. It's kind of like Simple leaving Navi. It's very strange at this point. It's hard to see, you know, a player like this in a different jersey. Of course, eventually you get used to it. There have been blockbuster moves in other sports. For me, it was the football comparison, the Tom Brady attempt. You know, try to go to the Buccaneers, win a trophy there. But it was muddied a bit by a couple of things. Number one, I mean, it's going to NIP, which is not as quality of a team as Astralis were. They don't have nearly enough players that have a lot of experience on land. And even Rez, who was MVP of IEM Oakland 2017, the superstar with the old players on it, stayed through all this time. He had a bad major. He had some good events. This was one of them, actually. Rez had a very strong land. He had a couple of strong lands for sure, but, you know, weird slump of the major. You know, these are things that, like, you wouldn't have any of the Astralis players be inconsistent at a major, unfortunately. You know, that's just it. So it was a very weird overall thing here with Device coming to the team and the messy results over the course of the year. But you look at the team as a whole, and the cool part about it was it did say a couple of good things. And now that we can, like, pause for a second and look back at the events, Device overall still had a strong year, a very strong year, actually, which is quite impressive. He's he also directly, whether he brags about it or other people talk about it or not, he was a reason that NIP were winning. They got better with him on the team, even when his stats weren't there. I think that's, you know, anybody who would argue that Device doesn't improve your roster, you know, no matter what his kills are, whatever it is, they're crazy, right? That would be insane to assume that Astralis were just propping him up the whole time, as opposed to him propping them up as well. But hey, Device to Astralis, that'd be an interesting roster move, huh? They need an Opera, I think. That conversation's coming back up. They're trying to kill Device's momentum here after the 4K on the pistol run. I understand it. I respect it. TSM joke, Device says. So the story coming into this game is this is the first kind of big event back that's important for Device's story, for his year, for this roster move for NIP as an organization. And he has that 4K on the pistol round. He has a MVP of the whole event. He has a super strong map here to start it off. And, you know, you can feel as good as you want coming into a tournament, but every player will tell you, I mean, sometimes you're going to play well the event. Sometimes you're not going to play like you thought you were going to, right? Sometimes, I mean, we have a saying, bad scrims, good matches. Like, if you have a terrible practice, then it's like the opposite when the officials start, you know, and it's kind of cursed sometimes to have too many good practices because you're winning too much there, then you're not learning a lot, or you're overconfident, that kind of thing. But, you know, Device, I'm sure, as one of the more consistent players of all time, if not the most, I'm sure he was quite confident coming into every event of the year. But, you know, personal stuff. And, you know what? Even though some of that stuff is semi-public with the personal stuff, it's not really fair to bring it in to talk about Device specifically because everybody's gone through a lot, right? Device is just more popular. And I will say, you know, the stuff I've heard is, like, pretty horrible, but there's plenty of people who haven't said anything. Where the hell is Poison? You know what I mean? I want to know about Poison. Is he having an okay? Is he okay? You know what I mean? Where's our boy? Poison, dude. I don't, you know, what you want to measure them, right? That's not fair. That's not fair. Anyways, bad time. And I guess with Device you can say, okay, like, you've never seen him dip at all. So here he dips, and it's, like, tied into it. So I bring it up. It's topical. It's not something I wanted to focus on. But again, when you take a step back and you just look at the list of events as a whole and the year as a whole, NIP improved. Device still had a strong year. They still, like, it could have been as, you know, it got to the point where after the EURMR, that Maui said that he believed there was an outside chance that NIP could win the major. I think Alex from Fnatic, you know, he was drinking that nip milk, you know what I'm saying? He was saying that there's the only team in the playoffs that could beat Navi are actually Nip of all teams, you know. everyone was just coping on these different storylines, right, at the time. But they did strike fear in everyone's hearts when coming off the EURMR. I mean, Maui put it in a good way. I liked it a lot. He said that NIP were peaking at the right time. So there was the question for Navi. Oh, they're doing so well. This is the event now they're not going to play well. You know, Nade update comes in. Silence M4s get a buff. Things change slightly. And at Navi, who are winning all this stuff, they're going to lose to a team randomly. Copium. I never said it, right? Did I? I never said it. I said they would win. And they go on to have an era. We call it an era now. I mean, holy. Navi won every single LAN they attended this year. Also, people need to clear something up with themselves about recency bias, because 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of the LANs that happened this year, the big events, including the major and all the LANs, happened in winter because of COVID. The only one that didn't happen, the one that happened earlier, was Cologne in July. So those are the most important events of the year by a mile. All of the online results can matter, but they, in my opinion, they need to be validated by LAN results. I think that's right. I think they got to be validated by LAN results to some extent. I mean, they could be impressive and cool and stuff like that, but they're just not worth as much when there's a significant amount of LANs. So I mean, first half of the year versus second half of the year, if you had you could drop off by 0.10 in the second half of the year, still worth way more, as those are mostly LANs for certain teams who are playing those LANs, of course. The blast partners, the ones who make it through the showdown, that kind of thing. CT operas on Nuke. That's why we like to watch Device. You know, top 3 operas, CT side Nuke, all-time Device. Our Simple, Device, Zywoo. I think Device is the guy that I feel like most people just learn from, you know? Why wouldn't you? Just a quick risk into the hut. They have some outside presence here. Hampus. Oh, nice shot. Wow, that was that was actually kind of crazy. Like, my eyeballs flicked a bit. I don't know if it showed on the camera, but like, I kind of actually flicked. I flicked like I was wearing a VR headset, you know, to try to catch that kill. Who is that? Like that? He's quick today. He's quick at this lay-in. Scrawny said, Scrawny said that there are UFOs guaranteed. I said, yeah, why aren't they identified yet? If you guys have crazy ass aliens videos, link me. I'll watch. I actually saw a UFO when I was on the plane. So I was just trolling Scrawny. I actually saw one myself. I was on the plane, and we were like 20 billion feet in the air, right? And then 10 billion feet in the air, so 10 billion feet lower than us, there was a tiny little alien flying across the top of the clouds. And all of the smart guys in the replies all said that there's no chance that this was another commercial flight. Ooh, drops the hammer. Okay. Oh, what an amazing round. And I casted the whole thing. I didn't get distracted. Yeah, Device got to be feeling good after this. It's Farm City, man. You know, I was looking at this and I was like looking at the highlights because it shows if a player had highlight rounds. I don't think Device had any, but that was one. The pistol was too. Why didn't that show up? This is a well over 2.0 rating for Device. Question for me is, what does Device's story look like now? Like, what do you guys think is gonna happen? Do you think? Now this is even crazier, right? Like, what if you went back to Astralis? Because that move actually makes so much sense. I think if Device went back to Astralis, literally the only question mark might be Zipix, who isn't playing super hot at the moment, even though he signed to 2025. Will this read pay off? Oh, tricky bubble. Don't worry, Linus will win. He's great in the clutch, actually. Linus great in the clutch. Oh. No, yeah, that won't work. Okay. He got him! That was so easy, actually. He had a delay for a long time on that fight, so I guess I just did have time. That was actually kind of funny by Bubble. Let's see the pick. Whoa. Most scary there for a second. That's interesting. We're not seeing Device opting outside that much. Dead on, though, with these shots. They left the op there to hold that peak. Whoa, very deep smoke. It's a threatening smoke. It's a hey. It's a hey. I have ramp control. But not only that, I have trophy room. Okay? So now if you want to come back here, they can just double clear it and run past and run into Device. But they might have to molly it. They might have to pre-nade it or flash it. 46 seconds. Are they going to respect it? They could just avoid going ramp as well, for sure. Usually you want to like push someone back first and then go ramp and then go to the other spot. We'll see. I guess they're outside. Ooh. Wow, Device so smooth with it. You know, you don't see such flashy flicks with him, right? Just very good accuracy. It's the calmness, really. Oh, yeah, he's hitting right now for sure. Ooh, the 3v1 upstairs. Come on, then. Go together. Just gotta trade one guy. It's just one guy. He's gonna flash the heaven to come out. And Device will bait. They have the smoke to get up as well. I'm not sure if Hemp is through that. It would be good to assist the vent rotation, even if you smoked from heaven or something like that. If you're not gonna do your paint can smoke. Timing got slowed down. Uh-oh. Yeah, see? Missed the timing because he stabbed too early. Wow. Just knows where he could take the liberty there. Just peeking out. Let's see what they'll do off this. His own smoke, remember. Oh, wait, what's happening? They're planning upstairs. Oh my god, NIP so lost. Say, launders, you're lost too. I didn't know. I don't have comms. I'm kind of tired of talking about Device. I've already said so many nice things. Oh my god, he's insane. I've already said so many nice things about him in his career. And it's another, you know, pretty solid year overall. It's like I don't have too many more compliments for the, I mean, unless we're breaking new ground. I am so invested in this storyline though, of him going to another team and showing everyone how good he is on a new roster and everything like that. I love that. No doubt. But a part of me just kind of wants, it's kind of messed up, but a part of me just wants him to go back to Astralis. I mean, I guess I'm a pretty big Glaive fan. I'm a pretty big Glaive fan for sure. I think it's weird right now it's happening on Astralis because they have some games where the calling is incredible, and then some games where it's like, wait, why didn't they do any upstairs hits here? Why are they going so slowly on this half? Like, very strange. Such a mixed bag. Sometimes when Device turns, it looks like he's on a controller because it's just so smooth and just horizontal at like the exact same speed. Oh god, did he get one? Oh, he was quite close. Flash was just beautiful though. They will surely pull off this retake, I'll tell you that much. We're still gonna molly dark. We can clear it. He's in dark. Oh, even I knew he could have been dark. Oh, he's still good. Let's go res. Easy. Took the risk there. Holding for the jump. Okay, it's like later in the half, a little bit more playing outside. Looking for something fast. Feels like he's getting it lurked on. Oh, it's pressure towards ramp. Look, the rotation's already here. And device misses. Okay, sometimes he do miss. Oh my god, they're coming. But look at all the help and support. They have Hampus lower. They got a turnpike player. Fiend just tried to rush it. They said they saw the device rotate down. They're like, okay, we can go. I guess they saw the opera going down. It would only be a rifle to support. That is a big name to see. Usually you take ramp like that, you don't get the ramp guy, you could slow it down. You know, you could slow it down, but in that situation, the op has to come back up. So he's like, oh, it was an opportunity. But they couldn't get past Linus the tank. Rest in peace. 2021. 2021. Linus. See if the read is correct. Going up top. Yeah, they're coming out of squeaky. Rez got it handled. Looking for the peak. Device just trying to dodge flashes too. In the interim, just waiting. Shot Dreamer. Okay. That was clean. Some good stuff so far. Trigonometry flash. Damn, almost managed to find that through all of the disruptions outside, through all the flashbangs. Uh-oh. He's not even going to leave it for Hampus. I'll protect you, brother. Sit tight. Fiend are having a hard time, aren't they? Trying to... it's not been easy for them. Device is usually right place, right time. And they run into him. They're throwing some flashes. I mean, it's not all dry swings, that's for sure, but... Look at this big flank on lobby. Oh, it's gonna be ramper upstairs, that's it. And they have two upstairs. Okay, it's over. Oh, ugh, mowed down. Mowed down. Okay, so let's look at the stats one more time. Okay, this is the 24-9 map here with the 2.57 rating on that CT side. You can see it was a shutdown. I mean, there's tons of nice shots, and I just thought it was very interesting, the story. Right, we have NIP win this, but not only do we have NIP win this, it's Device's best tournament of the year, pretty much, and also he gets MVP of the event. Then sorry, not that one. And then they go into the major right after that. And so, I don't know. I think there was some weird chance where if Device didn't play well, NIP didn't make the major. I mean, the story for NIP for Device could have been so different this year. I think it was already strugglesome, really unfortunate. Some of the health issues and other things. Yeah, in some ways, it's a lot better than it could have been, I guess. So, yeah, now they got easy tag, so we'll see. Maybe they'll get 3 Danes and just they can move to Copenhagen. Yeah, they could be like a rebrand to Astralis Light, maybe. That's Device number 9. Who you got for number 8? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, be safe. Ciao, sign, motherfucker.